Hey everybody, welcome back to Prescription Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm doing the final round of my best 100 proof non-bottle and bond bourbon challenge. All right, so I've already had 2 rounds of this competition where I'm tasting through the some 100 proof bourbons that are not bottle and bond, trying to find a favorite. I've said in my previous videos that last year I had done a complete bracket challenge of bottle and bond bourbons. I think I had 14 bottles total in that bracket. So it went into multiple rounds, and I came up with a favorite 100 proof bottle and bond bourbon last year. And there were some bottles that I was sad that I couldn't put in that challenge because they weren't bottle and bond. So this year, I decided to do the 100 proof challenge without any bottle and bond and see what it come up with. I'll try to go through these quickly today, show you the contenders of who's in this final. Don't need to give you all the history since I've already done that in the previous episodes. So what we've got today is a Four Roses single barrel, just standard, off the shelf Four Roses single barrel. Got a Jim Beam Distiller's Cut, which was a limited release from back in like 2017. You can still find this on the shelf a little bit nowadays, but it's pretty much disappearing. I believe the Oak Tub special release, limited release, has replaced this from Jim Beam. But Jim Beam limited releases are huge. Obviously, it's been out there for 5 years and is still available. Rebel 100 from Lux Row, which is the only wheated bourbon in the lineup. And we've got a John Bowman single barrel over here from Bowman Distillery in Virginia. So this is a Virginia straight bourbon whiskey from Sazerac. Sazerac owns John Bowman. It actually starts its life at Buffalo Trace in Frankfort, Kentucky, where they actually do the mashing process and distill it there. Once they ship that to Virginia, they redistill it and age it in Virginia, and it comes out as a straight Virginia bourbon. Rebel 100 is possibly distilled by Heaven Hill in Frankfort, Kentucky, but I know Lux Row is distilling their own distillate now. I also did not mention that MGP, Midwest Grain Products of Indiana, actually purchased Lux Row, so they own all these brands now. This Jim Beam Distiller's Cut is listed as a 5 or 6 year old bourbon, barrels hand selected by Fred No, master distiller at Jim Beam, and this is non-chill filtered, so excellent product. And the Four Roses single barrel, widely well known. I believe this is the OESV yeast strain and mash bill, which is a high, and this is this is the highest rye mash bill on the table. So we've got 3 rye whiskeys, 1 wheated whiskey. I mentioned MGP purchased Lux Row. In previous rounds that got eliminated, some of the bottles from last year that I really were sad that were not in the bottle and bond challenge last year have been eliminated today already. So we've got Knob Creek has been eliminated. Old Forester 100 has been eliminated. I had an MGP, actually it was a Smoke Wagon small batch, which is 100 proof. That was MGP distillate that was eliminated already. And I think the other one that was eliminated was a Cooper's Craft 100, which was another Brown-Forman product. But I didn't put this one in the lineup because this is a super young. This bottle actually says aged over 2 years. I believe the newer James Peppers actually say aged over 3 years. But I didn't think it stood up to the Smoke Wagon, so I left it out. And the only other 100 proof bourbons that I had that I left out were basically what I would consider limited releases, so or super expensive bottles. So I've definitely got some Remus Repeal batches that are 100 proof MGP distillate also, ultra aged, 12 plus years, and those are basically released once a year these days, and typically have sold out the last few years. So they're not super expensive. They would be the most expensive bottle on the table. You know, this Bowman and this Four Roses are like $50 bottles, and this Rebel and Jim Beam are more like $20 bottles. So, but yeah, the Remus Repeal Reserve would be more like an $80 bottle. So it would be the most expensive one on the table if I had that here, but it's, like I say, super limited release. I also have like a Rock Hill Farms from Buffalo Trace, which is a single barrel, the same mash bill as the Blantons and whatnot, and that, you know, super allocated, you know, cannot be found. So, and the price would be more than $50 also, but you know, you just can't even find it. So I didn't put anything in this lineup that I don't think you could find in the liquor store. I think you ought to be able to go find these, taste these, and decide for yourself. But yeah, let me put my James Pepper aside, and we'll start tasting these. All right. So I've got these mixed up. I don't know what order they're in. I'm going to go through and give them a nose, give them a taste. But we will call this A on your left, A, B, C, D. We'll go through, nose them, taste them, and I'll pick my favorite of these today. So on the nose, Glass A. All right, on Glass A, I'm picking up a little bit of a baked bread aroma, but it's got some sweetness in there, which I would say is a caramel sweetness coming through on the nose. So, Glass B. All right, Glass B has more sweetness coming through. It's more of some brown sugar sweetness, but a tinge of some fruit jam coming through on that too. So the dark red fruit jam. So, Glass C. At Glass C, I'm actually getting some grapiness on it. So these, you know, these sweet notes are coming through today. You know, and I'm hoping, you know, this is summertime now that I'm recording this, and yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, I've noticed I've been leaning towards the sweeter bourbons here recently. So, you know, back in the deep dark of winter, I typically, I think, pull out those spicy notes. I prefer the spicier, warmer bourbons and whiskeys. But I've noticed here in the summer, this last month or so, I've been really picking out some sweeter notes. So, Glass D. All right. Probably the least fruit. I mean, I took a little break there talking, but a little bit of bread, a little bit of oak on D. All right, let me go through and give my first taste, and we'll start narrowing this down. So, Glass A, cheers. All right, Glass A didn't have anything crazy forward on that. Very basic bourbon flavors. I got some sweet up front. I got some spice on the back end. It is a borderline peppery spice, which I don't think I've ever gotten on. I didn't get it on any of these in the first couple rounds, so. But it's a cinnamon peppery spice. So, but I got some oak, and I got some Got some oak and got some brown sugar sweetness on that one. So, nice sip on A. Class B, cheers. Alright, Glass B is definitely less spicy than A. It's definitely a cinnamon spice also, but it's sweeter. And it is brown sugar sweetness on that one also, so nice taste on B. Alright, give Class C a taste. Cheers. Fruity. I think I mentioned a grapefruit or grape aroma on this. Fruity aroma. That comes through on the taste. Super drying though. Should be cleansing my palate between these, so. Even less spice on C. That fruitiness comes through. Very pleasant, but a little drying also. So odd sensation there with the fruitiness and the dryness. All right, on to Glass D. First taste. Cheers. All right, Glass D is even more drying. Definitely have the oak influence on there. A lot of spice. So spice levels I think are the highest on A and D. Oakiness on C and D. That spice really lingers. The dryness, I thought it was going to be off-putting at first, but actually on the finish, it's nice. That spice and just that lingering taste on the finish is nice. So interesting. So fruity here, spicy here. We'll see where this goes. I'm going to let these sit. I'm going to come back, taste them again in reverse order, and come up with my favorite for today. Hang tight. All right, I've taken a short break. I'm back. I'm going to do my final round of tasting, and we're going to pick our winner of this 100 proof non-bottle and bond bourbon challenge. Before I get into this, I want to say if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel already. Hit like if you like what you're watching here. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think of these choices, of the final results. If you concur or disagree, let me know. Want to remind everybody that I'm on Instagram at instagram.com/prescriptionbourbon, and I'm on Patreon at patreon.com/prescriptionbourbon. So join me there. More discussion and extra content. So, having a good time. All right. I'm going to go through. I'm going to go D through A this time and give them a taste and try to pick a winner. Nice taste. Definitely sweet. Definitely oak forward. It's got a nice cinnamon spice to it. Very, very subtle cinnamon spice, actually. But the sugar sweetness comes through. The spice comes second. I don't remember if I said that one had a really long finish before or not, but doesn't seem to be a crazy long finish. but it does evolve. It goes from sweet to spice, and that spice lingers. So nice medium finish, nice nice flavors on that. So go with Class C. All right, way spicier. Fruity, some sweet, some oak. The oak is borderline too much, but it didn't cross the line. So the spice lingers, the oak takes you to the edge. Pretty complex flavors on this one, really. Getting more oak on the aroma right now, so still get that whiff of grape, but I'm definitely getting oak on that. Definitely placing C above D. All right, give B a taste. Definitely some oak presence on B also. Got some vanilla on there. Very, very light spice. This is probably the least spice of them all. So it's more caramel, vanilla forward. No spice on the finish. A little sweetness on the finish. Very pleasant sip, but pretty plain Jane as far as bourbons go. So, you know, if you're looking for something a little subtle, I think this might be your pick here. But I'm definitely putting that behind C also. Give A whirl here. Cheers. Sweet and spicy. Certainly spicier and sweeter than B. Very nice. Still get that bread note on the nose. But it does have a long spicy finish on that. So, all right. Putting it above B. So I believe the choices here are B and D are my last two, and A and C are my first two. I'm going to go through, do some A/B tasting, and try to narrow down this ranking. A lot more Rickhouse oak on B than D. The bread on A. The nose comes down to C and C and D and B. I give the nose to C, I believe. All right, let me taste these. Middle of the road. I say plain Jane earlier. I mean, super nice. I mean, excellent bourbon. Spicier, without a doubt. I'm actually going to put B above D just because I think the oakiness on D is a little off-putting. It's drying. I think that a lot of people, that turns off. So, red. Sweet and spicy, but I mean, absolutely A is better than B or D. Wow. winner. See, I mean the spiciness is elevated. The oakiness is there. I mean, it's right there. I get that grape fruity. I say grape. I get that fruitiness on there that I don't get on anybody else. And I don't get a lot of fruitiness often, I must admit. I mean, I'm a huge caramel vanilla person. I'm a huge oak person. I don't like over drying oak, but I love rickhouse oak aroma. I like oak taste. This has a wonderful aroma, wonderful finish. Taste is there. So there's my finish. First place is going to be C, A, B, D. So, all right, let's go through and see what we've got. Coming in fourth place today, and B and D. I mean, this is D, but D and B were very close to each other, but I'm just calling D in fourth place because of the over drying oakiness. So, and that is the Four Roses. So, Four Roses comes in fourth. Third place today, Distiller's Cut. So that's the Jim Beam Distiller's Cut. So limited edition. I believe it came out in 2017. Might have been before that, but I'm pretty sure 2017. This is one of the few bottles that I have bunkered. I have probably at least 8 bottles of this stashed away. Love it. I drank Jim Beam Black for 5 years, probably, as my favorite bourbon, before I really started getting into the tasting and thinking about doing this channel and all that. Just Distiller's Cut blows Jim Beam Black out of the water. I don't know if it's, I mean, it's the extra, is there some extra proof there? It's non-chill filtered. Delicious stuff. If you find it on the shelf, buy it. I've got it, several bottles bunkered away. I know this one's about empty. I've got more. So, but third place. Second place today, Glass A, is the Rebel Yell. So, Rebel Yell. This is the wheated bourbon in the lineup. I kept getting a bready note on that. But I did get some other good aromas and tastes on that. You know, standard bourbon stuff. Good stuff. But Glass C, the winner, is the John J. Bowman. Wow. Grapey. Has anybody heard that before on Buffalo Trace products? I mean, this is Virginia straight bourbon whiskey, so it's out of Bowman Distillers in Virginia. But it starts its life in Frankfort, Kentucky at Buffalo Trace. This is delicious. It's the most complex bourbon on the table. Wonderful aroma, wonderful taste, wonderful finish. This is a single barrel, so you know mileage will vary. It is 100 proof. They all are. But this pushed the envelope as far as oakiness went. The spice level was right there. I mean, top notch. The fruitiness was right there, top notch. Today, I loved it. There's our winner, John J. Bowman, straight Virginia bourbon. All right, everybody, I hope you liked what you saw here today. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Love to hear from you. Love to have this discussion going. Hit that like, hit subscribe. Remember, everybody, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. The best bourbon comes from Kentucky. The roots of Kentucky. This Virginia bourbon is some pretty good. Cheers. Also want to remind everybody that if you are not watching Livewire Whiskey on Sunday nights, you are missing out. They have a virtual pub style discussion going on there, all kinds of tastings and discussions on real world issues. So, tune in to Mike and Adam at Livewire Whiskey on Sunday nights.